Hi, I'm Mark Craig, President of Community Housing Network. You know, for many people, being able to say, welcome to my home, is a sentinel event in their life. For the people that we work with, it means even more. It can be life-changing. Being able to say, welcome to my home, means having a home for the first time, having a place that you can call home. Our work helps people open doors. We accompany them through what can sometimes be a very long journey. We rejoice with them when their lives are often transformed. In a few minutes, we'll introduce you to 4 people. Each of them comes from very different circumstances. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to help everybody that comes to us. Our work is done one front door at a time. The first person you will meet is Makisha Reed. She and her 3 children were among the first tenants of a brand new development we built in Oak Park called Jefferson Oaks. This was our largest endeavor ever. There are now more than 180 people who have been able to say, welcome to my home in the 60 brand new homes at Jefferson Oaks. This mixed income community providing homes for people who make our communities work includes the adaptive reuse of the vacant Thomas Jefferson School. There are now 20 1- and 2-bedroom homes in the former school, and there are now 40 3- and 4-bedroom townhomes on the campus. This work is made possible by the generosity of our community partners and donors. I'd like to offer my sincere thanks to those who have generously and graciously shared their stories with us. And now, let me introduce you to Makisha.
Hi, my name is Makisha. Welcome to our home. Well, we were living in Oak Park, actually not too far from here, in a home that we have been in a few years. When we first moved in, we discovered that there was water coming into the basement. As time passed, it started to flood more frequently and more severely to the point where our belongings were getting wet. But ultimately mold began to grow. We were told it was in the walls. It was actually showing up on some of our furniture, showing up on some of the kids' toys, board games were starting to literally mold. We were told that the mold was inhabitable and that we should probably find somewhere else to live. So we did end up with family not too far away, but with 3 kids moving into someone else's home, that was a bit of a challenge because you still have to try to, do what you still have to do. So the kids still had to go to school. I still had to go to work. I didn't really want to take the kids out of their school. They've been there all their lives in Ferndale schools. So I wanted to maintain a little bit of stability for them even after what was going on. And so one of the workers at the school that I had spoken to had found out about Jefferson Oaks. I had seen Jefferson Oaks, but I did not realize it was for lease. And as you know, the same amount of bedrooms we had before, the same amount of bathrooms. And here it was that it's new, it's nice, it's in our school district. The kids still get to be with their friends in their neighborhood. I substitute in the Oak Park School District. So 2 years ago, I did start a mentorship program called Greater Girls. We do work with young ladies from the age of 9 through 21, although we won't turn away a young lady who's older who may have a need. We do counseling. I'm a certified counselor. We do resources as far as finding resources for housing if they're homeless, if they need food, clothing. We try to assist them finding resources. Sometimes we do get donated resources. And we are going to be this year working in and out of some of the schools to come in and just work with girls on self-esteem, social media responsibility, sexual responsibility. And for Greater Girls, we're doing a few things in the community. And one of those is working with the Ferndale Youth Assistants. We're donating pink packets. And pink is Private Intimate Necessities Closet, where we're collecting feminine hygiene products to distribute to Ferndale Youth Assistants as well as the Oak Park Freshman Institute. Now that we're here, I have noticed that my kids they're proud of the new house. They want to have sleepovers and things like that. So that's one of the better parts, is that they're actually somewhere they feel that is comfortable, somewhere they can be excited about and be proud of. So I truly appreciate the Jefferson Oaks community and Community Housing Network.
Many of those who live in our housing programs are people that you may have lived next door to at one point. They're people whose life circumstances may have taken a turn that they hadn't planned or couldn't have foreseen. And now they find themselves in need of affordable quality housing. This is exactly what happened to Susan and Stephen McDowell and their son Jacob. Now I'd like to introduce you to Susan McDowell.
We're the McDowells. Welcome to our home. My name is Susan McDowell. My husband and I, we have been married, it will be 30 years. We have 4 children. One is still young. He's 15 years old. In all of our imagination, we never thought that we would be homeless. It can happen to anyone. We were just a medium income family living a nice life. We ended up homeless because my husband, after 21 years, was let go from his job 2008. It was December 23rd, just a couple days before Christmas, and it was the most devastating thing that has happened to us. He was the director of computer operations, and we felt that his job was completely secure. He found an online job as an Apple consultant, and he was repairing people's phones, retrieving information that they lost. That lasted 3 years. It was a temporary job. He got another short-term job, and that was another telephone consultant job. That did not last very long. He ended up getting very sick, and he could not continue working. It was, we felt hopeless. After that, we ended up homeless. It was June 2018. While we were in Fowlerville, we signed up with Community Housing Network. I spoke with Susan Tott, and she had completely helped us, gave us hope. And it was a long struggle. We were homeless. We were in a shelter. We were in the shelter almost at the maximum, which is 90 days. And on the 89th day, Community Housing Network got our apartment for us the day that our shelter stay was expired. It was very scary because at that point we could have been sleeping out on the street somewhere, and it was just a wonderful, warming feeling that we had some place to go.
My name is Jacob McDowell. Living here has been fun. It's been just like a normal life. I'm going to an online school right now, and next year I plan on going to an actual high school. The reason I'm doing online school is because all the moving we've been doing, and it's just easier so we don't have to keep on swapping high schools.
Community Housing Network has led us all the way into a new home and a new beginning for us.
We're starting to see that there are many paths that can bring people to Community Housing Network. The next person I'd like to introduce you to is Daniel. Daniel participates in one of our supportive housing programs. That means that in addition to receiving housing support, he receives supportive services as well from one of our supportive services coordinators, or we call them SSCs. The SSCs worked directly, hands-on, regularly meeting with people and supporting them in assuring that they are successful. That's why this program has an extremely high, over 95% success rate. Our SSCs provide supports for all things relating to housing. Housing stability, financial stability, and self-sufficiency. Let me introduce you now to Daniel.
Hi, my name is Daniel. Welcome to my home. Community Housing Network definitely gave me a new beginning. So this is Zila, and it's another indication of a new beginning for me because of Sharnita's suggestion, and she told me it could be therapeutic for me. She brings cutefulness and playfulness, and so I don't have to be depressed. And so it is very therapeutic. My mother raised me, and I had two sisters. I grew up in New York, and I didn't know my father. I never got a chance to meet him, but my mother did her best to give me a good upbringing. I played sports in high school and stuff, and eventually I didn't go to college, but I joined the Navy. And then when I joined the Navy, unfortunately my mother passed away like 6 months in when I was in the Navy. So I got an honorable discharge, but they called it an entry-level separation. And due to my mother's death, I think that that was kind of like a devastating thing for me. So the only solution I could find was I started drinking heavy. And during the drinking, that led to drugs. I started smoking crack. And basically from there, it's just like my life became like a living hell, if you will. And so I wound up in prison due to the drug use. I was homeless. I struggled with addiction. And my life was a complete mess. It got so bad where I didn't know if I was going to continue to even live. But somehow, like I said, I got connected to community housing. And but I always knew I had a strong faith that somehow God was going to help me. But I didn't know where the help was going to come from. And community housing, definitely, I feel like it was a divine intervention. So with the housing and the stability, I continued to seek for employment, and I signed up with CNS services as far as mental health. Got with an employment specialist. She let me know that CNS, there was a position available, and I got hired. I work for, it's an extension of CNS. It's a place called Visions Clubhouse. So basically I transport the clients. I bring them to the clubhouse, and then I bring them home, and then they go on field trips and things of that nature. And I'm seeing so many improvements in so many different areas of my life. The housing is giving me that opportunity to each day see a new beginning.
For some people, their new beginning includes buying their own home. Our home ownership program helps low and moderate income prospective home buyers work through the process to purchase their own quality, affordable home. We work with Oakland and Macomb counties to purchase and rehabilitate housing and then sell them to first-time home buyers. These home buyers receive down payment assistance to make their mortgage payments more affordable, and the homes are sold to them at fair market value. The fourth person I'd like to introduce you to is Secura. She was able to purchase her first home through our home ownership program. She was grateful that her home came with a new refrigerator, a new roof, and a deck. Part of the support that we provide through our home ownership program is helping families like hers learn about home ownership, including how to set up a budget, how to maintain your home, and how to be sure that you're going to be able to enjoy your home for a lifetime. Let me introduce you now to Secura and her family.
We're the Sanders. Welcome to our home.
Hello, my name is Secura, and I am in my first home. I brought my home through Community Housing Network in August of 2018. I am a first-time home buyer. I never thought I would ever have my own home, ever, and I did it through this wonderful program. I have two sons. Isaac is 13, and he is an 8th grader who will be going to Cass High School with his brother in the fall. Isaiah is 17. He has one more year of school, so he's about to take his SATs and apply for colleges this fall. I have a pet turtle. Joe was given to us 8 years ago. He's like part of our family. I was currently renting a home, and I was having a lot of maintenance issues. I was a very good tenant for 4 years, but the maintenance issues were coming was coming to the point that I was losing a lot of my personal items. I had a major flood in my basement and sewage. It was pretty bad. So that's when I decided that I can do this. I can go out and take the money that I'm renting and use it for my own home. I've always heard people or been to home parties and people got their own homes and but they never talked about how to get a home. You just knew they had a new home. I was working with my realtor and we started looking for homes. When we walked into my particular home, I couldn't believe the home and the things that came with the home. We found out that this home belonged to the Community Housing Network. What I found to be important is that understanding the process to buy a home, all the things you need to do, not just moving in, that's the exciting part, but there was a lot of work. It was a lot of work getting this home, but I kept it from my family. I kept telling my family, start packing, pack your boxes, do this, and just get all the things together. And it was a lot of questions. So, when are you going to tell us when we're moving? And I kept those things behind the scene private because I just didn't want any discouragement. I didn't want anybody telling me, maybe this is not the area, or maybe you should think about it this another year. Maybe you don't have the finances. What are you going to do when this happened and this? I just didn't want that. I just stepped out on faith and gave it to God. August of this year will be 20 years of my teaching. I'm teaching second grade in a public school in Detroit. I am currently in the master's program in Mary Grove. I will be graduating May 11th. In the process while I was looking for a home, I was in the midst of my graduate classes at Mary Grove. So I'm working full time. I'm taking care of my family. We're involved in their school life and doing all these things. But at the same time, my journey was to also find a home for my family. On the day of the closing, which was August 23rd, that's when I called my mom and I said, Mom, I closed on a home. And that's when my mom was like, yes. She was on the phone. She was screaming. She was excited. And I told her address, and then she met me here. And when she walked in, she just hugged me, and she's like, oh, my God, it is really beautiful. And she's so proud of me. Since I moved into my home, we're more relaxed and more laughter. The boys have embraced their room and taken pride in the home. Just really have just become to be more, take a deep breath and woosah, as I say to my children, and enjoy the things that come along with a home.